Peace of mind. You know, it's a valuable commodity nowadays. You know, you look around and you see the headlines and you see a need to prepare. You see a need to be concerned about what's going on. And to be honest with you, if you're not concerned, then you're not being very sensible. I want to give you a few options. You know, you say, yeah, I don't really have the money. I don't have the extra money to spend. You know, things are tight. Maybe you've lost a job. But there is hope. And this video is just for you to find a way to raise the money you need. And I'm going to give you some options, and I hope this will help. Because my main goal is to help the American people to be prepared and to stand firm. Because liberty is precious, and we need to hold on to it with everything we have. There are a couple of ways that you can raise funds. Number one way, and this is something that we all can do. Let's cut back on our spending. You know, one of the things that we do a lot is eat out, which we've stopped pretty much. We'll still eat out once or twice a week maybe. But that is one of the biggest ways that we have started saving money. Another thing is to stop just spending money on things that you just really don't need right now. You know what? You're worried, you're concerned about all this stuff, but yet, you know, it's like we're living in denial. We go out and spend money and do things. I know my wife the other week, she said, you know, everything's just so tough right now. Let's just go to Disney World for a few days. I said, what? Disney World? I said, you know, why would I want to spend $4,000 going to Disney World when we need to make sure we have enough food put back in case whatever is coming down the pipe comes. And, you know, it was funny because she laughed. She goes, yeah, I know. She goes, it was just a thought. And, you know, if we're not careful, we rationalize these things. I mean, we have 3 small kids, you know. Yeah, we want to go to Disney World. Yeah, it would be great. Yeah, you know. But is that really going toward peace of mind? Or is that just absence of mind? You know, you want to buy a new boat, you want to buy a new car. I mean, come on, people. You know, stop spending your money and start saving your money and buying things that you need. You know, not spending is the first. But now I'm going to give you some things about how to raise money through different sources. I am living full-time on eBay. That's how I make my living, off of eBay. And you know, that's a great way. eBay says that the typical household has $2,000 worth of sellable goods in their household. So, you know, you have things in your house that, you know, they're too valuable to throw away, but you just hang on to them. And you know what I'm talking about? You know, one time I had this, it was an air hose, and it sat around my workshop. And I kept running into it, and I kept thinking, you know, I could probably use this someday. But I finally just put it on eBay. Sold for $20. And you know what? That was $20. That was like me having $20 laying on my counter every time I walked by it. And it was just taking up space. You know, there are things that you have that you can sell on eBay. And I'm going to tell you a couple of little things about eBay to help you make the most out of your money. And I'm not going to get into it because I could do 20 video segments on how to sell on eBay. But number one, your pictures are very important. Your title, what you put in the title. You think about if somebody was searching for this item, what words would they put in to find it? That's very important. And just to make sure your starting price is very low. You know, I mean, the least you'll take for it. And do not put on a reserve, because reserves usually typically won't sell for that much, or won't get that much interest. At least that's my take on what I've learned over the past 5 years selling full-time on eBay. Another great source is Amazon. Selling books and tapes, CDs, different things that you have. That's an easy way to sell your stuff. And you know, get on there, get on both of them. Do some research, find out what's the best way to sell your items. Now, there are some things that just won't sell on eBay. Some things you can't. Some things you can't ship. Now, Craigslist is also a great resource to sell your items. And you can put your price on it, and you can sell it. You know, make your items reasonable. You know what? They're just sitting around your house. Why hold on to them? Let them go. It's just money that you can have to use to that may save your life in the long run. We have a local paper that's a classified paper that's free to list things, and there's a lot of activity on there. You can put your items on this local paper, and you know, especially if you have like extra furniture or things like that that are just that you don't really want to sell online. That's a great way to go. Yard sales, wonderful way. And really, a lot of the things that there's going to be things you can't sell on eBay or Amazon that you can put on in a yard sale and just sell and make $300 or $400 or more just by having a nice yard sale Friday, Saturday yard sale, and early, and then end it early, because usually by the afternoon things kind of slow down. But just taking some time to do that. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I use for those who are watching this channel. You know, I'm a big gun nut. I had a lot of gun parts and gun brass and stuff that was just sitting around that I just really didn't have any use for. And I put that on gunbroker.com. And that's a great way to get rid of parts and gun pieces, things you're not really using. And especially right now, I made an extra $500 just selling stuff. And it went a long way in buying things that I really need. So that's another great source. Guns America is also another one. This is all gunsamerica.com, gunbroker.com. There are others out there, but a lot of times, that's a specialty area. And there are a lot of people that are looking. Old ammo. You can sell old ammunition and stuff like that. So those are just some ways to raise funds to use it. Now, the other thing is, if you have items that you haven't sold, maybe at your yard sale, or you just want to donate to local charities. Number one, this helps those charities and helps people that are going to be in need, that need things. So that's a great way to help out in your community. But also, you can take a tax deduction. And I'm telling you what, you're going to need tax deductions. And it may not help you this week or this month, but it'll help you next year. And hopefully there'll be a next year for you to take advantage of these tax deductions. Last year I gave a lot of stuff. Donated a lot of stuff, and and like I say, it helps your community. Now, on the reverse of this, eBay, Craigslist, Amazon, those are great sources to buy things that you need. So as you start to sell and you start to turn your money, you could possibly be able to buy some of the things you need for a less expensive price. Now, as somber as this message is, I don't mean for us to quit living life. And we need to enjoy our life, and we need to take those moments that we have. I mean, we're going to the beach in about 3 weeks, so it's not that I'm talking about, being a Scrooge and saving every penny that you have. You need to live life. You need to enjoy. I mean, again, with our kids, we want to have some great memories, and we're not putting our life on hold. Again, a sensible way to prepare. But be sensible, in spending your money. Enjoy yourself, but do things that are more on the moderate side.